Hey guys, what is up and welcome today to an egg hatching guide for Pokemon Go. We're going to give you all the information known currently about egg hatching and kind of how to hopefully optimize the amount of eggs hatched and also help you try and get, the best Pokemon and bang for your buck when it comes to actually spending money on the game. So I've had an absolutely incredible morning, just went for a bit of a walk and I managed to hatch this. Oh my god, I was so happy. It is an absolutely stacked Lapras. It came out about 1,400 combat power, but I've bumped it up a bit. However, unfortunately, I'm only level 19 at the moment and cannot power it up any further. But this one is ridiculous. Lapras is one of the best Pokemon in the game, and that came from hatching an egg. So we're going to talk about the different types of egg in the game. Let me just quickly minimize this and go back. So, when you go to Pokestops, you have a, you can hold up to 9 eggs at a time, and if you have free space in your bag for eggs, then you have a rare chance, it's probably about 30% to actually get an egg from that Pokestop. They can either be one of 3 eggs, 2 kilometer, 5 kilometer, or the mighty and magical and also quite rare 10 kilometer ones. As you can see, kind of briefly looking at the list and the Pokemon that are on it, in the 2 kilometer one, more often than not, you are going to get an absolutely rubbish Pokemon. However, bearing in mind with all of the eggs, when you tend to hatch a Pokemon, instead of it being like a freshly born Pokemon, it's already pretty beefed up. So the Pokemon that you can get from hatching the 2 kilometer ones, maybe something like, some of the Weedles and Caterpies I've pulled. Just going back to the game again. So let's have a look at recent, have been absolutely stacked. So yeah, hatched that Caterpie and that Weedle at the moment. So yeah, they were 215 and 212. If I caught them in the wild, usually they'd be really, really weak, somewhere between like 10 and 100. So actually hatching Pokemon from eggs does give you Pokemon that are already leveled up quite a lot, and this can save you a lot of Stardust when it comes to actually leveling up those Pokemon. So that's something to bear in mind, if you're thinking of upgrading a common Pokemon for actual use in the game and combat, maybe hatch a few 2 kilometer eggs, see if you can get like a really high level baseline Pokemon, and then, evolve and level up that one. So let's go over the actual drops. In 2 kilometer, the obvious favorable drops are obviously the Bulbasaur, the Charmander, the Squirtle, the Pikachu. These are all mainly for nostalgia reasons, but Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur are badass. Raichu's okay, and then you obviously have the Golem, which can be leveled up quite badassery. What's the no? It's Geodude, and then it's the one in the middle, and then it's Golem. So yeah, that one's really good to level up. You can also get Magikarps. Also, when you hatch Pokemon, it does give you a small stash of candy relevant to that Pokemon, depending on the amount of kilometers you've walked. Around 2 kilometer, as it's generally 5 to 10 candy, and then it's 10 to 20, and then it's usually 20 to about 35 on the 10 kilometer ones. So yeah, getting a Magikarp's alright, because I think it's pretty much every Pokemon trainer's dream to get a Gyarados. But apart from that, nothing else is too great here. Then we get into the 5 kilometer ones. This is a real mixed bag of good stuff and bad stuff. Like, I don't know about you, but my area is absolutely crawling in Drowsies. So yeah, Drowsy is a terrible Pokemon to get from the egg, and I've had that disappointment already. There's some really good ones. I'd probably say the best ones, Growlithe is pretty badass. Ekans, Abra is really good. Machop is insanely badass. Porygon is a very rare Pokemon. Tauros, I've heard, is quite common in America. Apparently you can't catch it in the UK, and it's geographically based. The Executor, when leveled up and evolved, is absolutely amazing. I've been informed. So yeah, that's kind of the best of the batch from the 5 kilometer ones. Again, really depends on your geographical area to which of these Pokemon are more common, but as you can see, it's a really mixed bag. And the 10 kilometer one, there is so much awesome stuff in here, but there are a few ones that really aren't so great to get. To be honest, everything is pretty awesome, apart from Cypher, Jinx, Eevee, and maybe Dratini. Dratini's good for the candy, but like, it's not a Pokemon that you actually, you know, want to get. Dratini, when fully evolved into a Dragonite, is one of the best and most powerful Pokemon in the game in terms of health and the amount of CP that they get when they leveled up. So yeah, like that's pretty mixed bag, but again, it's a Dratini. You've got to have all the candy to evolve it. I have never been more disappointed in my life when I hatched a Jinx from a 10-kilometer egg. That is the worst feeling in the world. Ciphers, again, depending on your geographical area, we have a park in Bracknell, which is pretty much Cipher heaven. There are Ciphers absolutely everywhere. It is ridiculous. So Ciphers are very, very common around here. Electrobuzz, I've heard, is also common in a few areas, but apart from that, the kind of main, like, the big lottery win pools, I would say, from this one are a Lapras, an Aerodactyl, or a Snorlax. So yeah, just to give you an idea. So let's go back to the game for now. I'm going to link this chart in the description if you want to go through it on your own time and kind of analyze all the different Pokemon that can drop from eggs. So let's go back to the game and have a quick look at kind of how to most efficiently hatch your eggs. So eggs can be found, if you haven't already sussed this out, by going to Pokemon and then eggs. As you can see, I've got quite a few in the incubator at the moment. I'm about to hatch a couple of 5k ones and 2k ones, you know, very, very easy to hatch. What I like to do, spending actual Poke Coins on the game, I've chucked about £30 down on the game, and I think by far in terms of the best bang for your buck, the best items that you can get are actually the incubators. If you're looking at stuff like lore modules and incense, these often attract very bad Pokemon. I would say like 95% of the Pokemon you attract from lore modules and incense are going to be pretty terrible Pokemon. Or pretty averagely common Pokemon, whereas with the egg incubators, I would say you're looking at between 60 to 70% of the time it is going to be a really, really good Pokemon that you hatch, and with one egg incubator, that gives you 3 hatches of any egg. So if you're looking to spend a bit of money on the game and get the most bang for your buck in terms of the amount of Pokemon that you can get and the amount of power that you can get, definitely buy loads and loads of egg incubators, because they are awesome. And it feels so good just walking around hatching like anywhere between like 7 to 10 eggs at any one time. Like that is, sorry, 7 to 9 eggs at any one time. Kind of other highlights from my egg hatching endeavors include I got enough Growlithes to make an Arcanine, which I'm incredibly happy about. Got a really stacked Eevee from a 10-kilometer one, which I evolved straight away into a 1.1k Flareon, so that was very overpowered as well. And then we also have the Jinx, which was only 514. That did really, really suck. Very disappointing. So yeah, guys, that's a bit of an insight into egg hatching and the stuff that you can get. I would say if you are looking to, you know, just get as many 10-kilometer ones, and maybe you're on a bit of a budget, I'd say just keep on hatching the 2-kilometer ones, because that's the quickest way you're gonna get rid of those eggs. There is no way to sell or dispose of your eggs. The only way to get rid of them is to hatch them, and really all the best stuff in the game is coming from 10-kilometer eggs. So, you know, if you're on a budget and you're only using the egg incubator in the game, keep on hatching those 2k ones, because it's going to give you more chances at getting a 10k egg, and that is where you get the really, really best stuff in the game. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and had a bit of an insight into egg hatching in Pokemon Go. Apart from that, take care and have an absolutely fantastic day, and happy Pokemon hunting.